Hi everyone, I wanted to jump on tonight and just be a part of what I had already started, 2022, Walking with Faith. And so it's been a long time and I don't normally want to jump on because half the time I don't really know what to talk about. But tonight I thought I would just get on here and basically just talk about how it's been. And so it's been 3 years in February, and I think the last time I talked about how I'm able to not pretend, but in some sense pretend, because I don't really like to show exactly how I feel. So these days I keep myself pretty busy. So busy actually that I'm just doing things all the time. But along the way I feel like there's things that I've learnt that I wouldn't have learnt had I not gone through this. In saying that, would I want to go through this to learn that? No, I wouldn't. Not at all. Would I still want things to be as they were before? Yes, I would. Would I want to go back in time? Yes, I would. I know that where she is, she's not missing. She's not longing for. She's not regretting or anything like that. I get lots of things said to me about, oh, she would, she's sorry and all this sort of stuff. And I mean, I hear it and I don't actually believe that myself. I know that where she is, she's has fullness of love. She has fullness of joy, and she has fullness of peace. Where she is, she gets to be wherever she wants, whenever she wants. You probably think, well, how do you know this? I have never felt that Faith isn't with me. I can ask her questions and I actually hear her replies. And a lot of times I have asked questions and I can hear her give me the answer to my question. Doesn't make it easier. I suppose it gives me that temporary comfort for that time, but it doesn't make it easier. I don't think anything would make this life easier, to be honest. It's funny because, and I know that I've mentioned this in the previous videos before, how when Faith was physically here, it wasn't that I went on and on and on to her about, how great she is and how perfect she is and how wonderful she is, or any of those things. I mean, I was never a person and not a person to say things like that. If I do compliment, if I do encourage, it's once in a blue moon, I suppose, once in a while, and I'll say it and I mean it, but I'm not that person that just says it continuously. And I know that after Faith had gone, just the regret of all the things that I've had inside me that I had known of her, that I had known her to be and do, and that I didn't say. And I keep thinking, oh, I wish I had just told her. But, you know, in my head I can hear Faith saying, it's okay, Mum. I already know. I know how you felt about me. I know how much you love me. I know what you thought of me and all these things. And even more so now, like while she was here, she knew these things, but now that she's where she is, even more so she knows these things. She has such fullness of knowledge and fullness of understanding. I mean, I've always wanted to go to heaven. I was just that type of person, longed to go to heaven. And she's beat me there. I can't believe she's beat me there. And so my relationship with her, because I can even remember, I'll just read it. Where is it? This was back in 2023, and Pete and Elisha and Tamariera were watching rugby, and I was thinking, oh man, this is how I was feeling, you know, I'm on my own now, I have to do everything by myself, because one of the many things about Faith was she was so helpful. She lightened my load a lot, like whatever I needed help with, she was always that person that could help me with things, and she was happy to do it, and she was good at it as well. And so yeah, I felt like Faith said to me, no, Mum, I'm with you and still with you. You've always wanted to be in the Spirit and know the things of the Spirit. Well, I'm in it, and you can know about it now. And it was like she was saying to me, you know, I'm not with you how I was before physically, but I'm with you spiritually. And in order for me to connect with her, it has to be spirit to spirit. And my relationship with God has been on such deep levels before. I've gone through different seasons with God where it was sometimes just talking with him, and sometimes it would be continuously praying. Sometimes it would be praying in tongues and not praying English. Sometimes it would be worship, singing worship. Sometimes it would be just sitting in his presence. You know, just all these different seasons that I've been through with God and in my relationship with him. And I feel like now it's not that it's switched from God to Faith, but in some sense it's like Faith is the almost like the ticket, you know, to getting me back to that place that I was with God, because I know that I haven't lost what I had with him, but my relationship with him is so different now, and I'm trying to find what it is and how it is with him since faith. Because I know that I stopped praying for a long time, but I never stopped communing with him, I guess you could say. I never stopped hearing his voice. I never stopped talking to him. I don't even know if I could say talking to him really, because I was so angry, and I can still be angry now, but I was extremely angry. So he got to hear, which I've never actually done before, hear my utmost anger, disappointment, frustration, torment, unbearable pain that I've ever been through. And he got it. He got the brunt of it. But through it, I've known his grace and I've known his mercy to the fullest. And I've never stopped learning. In fact, I've learned so much more than I ever thought that I could learn. He's opened my eyes so much more. I see this whole world differently than it's ever been before. The world looks completely different. Even people look completely different. I mean, I'm completely different. I'm completely changed. Things as they were before are no longer now. I just wrote some stuff down just to keep me on track. So I had mentioned before how I had gone over so many times about why, how, why didn't he tell me? Why didn't he pre-warn me? Why, if only, but going down all the different scenarios and all the different things that could have happened, that should have happened, I feel, that didn't. The one conclusion that I came to, and also that I've mentioned before, is that it was her time, and that it doesn't make it easier or better. But I think for me, there's nothing that I could have done. There's nothing that anybody could have done. It was her time. I think probably the difference now for me is why did God bless me with a child for 14 years? Why did he give me the gift of faith for 14 years? Why not for the remainder of my years? And that angers me, because I want more. I want to have all of my life with my children. And I know that faith is extraordinary. I know that she is well and truly capable and able of so many things. She wasn't just intelligent, she was talented. She had the ability to do so many things. There really wasn't anything that I saw that she couldn't do, that she put her mind to. She was determined, persistent, and pretty much everything she wanted to do, however good she wanted to be at it, that's how good she was and is. And so now, even getting to heaven, to me, is like, wow. Yeah, mind-blowing. So Faith was 14. Yeah, there's been so many significant things that have gone past. So many, I've been blessed by so many people. Acknowledging Faith, remembering her, memorials. She was so loved and still is loved. But I know that Faith loved also so deeply. And so one of the ways that I know that Faith lets me know that she's with me and is with me all the time is the number 14. So quite often I'll come across, it'll either pop up. So I'm having a conversation with something in regards to something, and then the number 14 will come up, and it's just her and my thing, just letting me know, Mom, I'm here, I can hear what you're talking about. Mom, I know what you guys are going on about. Yeah, it's just her and my thing. There's been so many things that she sent me and given me and brought into play for me. One of them was a moissanite ring. So I've always wanted a diamond ring, but not just a diamond ring. I really wanted like a big, solitaire, chunky ring. And I was struggling. It was about a year or so after she passed, and so I said to her, oh, you know, every time it got to the 12th of every month, I'd be, oh my gosh, I just, you know, it was like a stab in the heart, and just going over the same thing over and over again. Anyway, this ring popped up and on Marketplace, and I saw it, and it was the exact ring that I wanted, but I knew that the amount that they wanted was too much. So long story short, it came about that I was able to get this ring, and I don't have it on me at the moment. Anyway, it's in the drawer. But yeah, this ring, I felt like Faith said to me, Mom, this is for you, and every time you get to this date, I want you to look at this ring and I want you to smile, because this is from me to you to remind you about me in a better light. So yeah, that was my present from Faith. Yeah, so I treasure that ring, and so every time I look at that ring, it's yeah, it's a beautiful ring. It's a big, chunky diamond solitaire. It's like a square emerald cut. Yeah, it's funny actually, because years and years ago, when actually I probably was around 13, 14, because I used to love Whitney Houston, and I remember the ring she wore, and I remember thinking, man, I would love a ring like that. And so fast forward, I have a ring that looks like one of her rings. Of course, it's not the same value as her ring, but it's still a very good value. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's another thing. I think I mentioned before about how I'm not able to pray for myself, but I'm able to pray for others. That's been another grace moment that God has given. There's been many grace moments that God has given, and that's one of them. Today I caught up with a very, very dear friend, and hope she doesn't mind me mentioning her name, but her name's Pauline, and she's very dear to my heart. Yeah. She's moved away, so I got to catch up with her today because she's visiting here, so I was really looking forward to seeing her. And anyway, when I got inside, the first thing she said to me was, oh, she looks, it was like looking at her. She could see me, she saw me, and she thought I looked like Faith, and she thought, oh, little Mrs. here. Yeah, I love that because it just lets me know that she's with me all the time, just in spirit. I wrote a song for my mum a few years ago actually. Yeah, it was a few years ago because Faith was still here when I wrote that song. Gosh, I actually can remember Faith in the room when I was recording that song. Because every time I record things, it's always late at night. And she was in her room when I wrote that song and when I recorded it. And I actually remember going into her room and spending time with her after I wrote that song and sung it. Anyway, this song, I've got it on one of my YouTube channels, and the words in the song, because I wrote the song for my mum, and so it's called My Mum. But one time, I think I listened to it on YouTube, and I heard Faith saying to me, Mum, this is how I see you and how I feel about you. That blew my mind because that song was never for me. But she was just letting me know that, yeah, she sees me as those words, and that's how she feels about me. Yeah, I've written so many things down, and I never know how I can bring it all together or record it or save it. It's basically like a full-time job, really. And all Faith's videos, all Faith's TikToks, all her photos. Oh man, I'm thankful that she did them all. I just wish I knew how I can save it all. The thing with technology is it's awesome for times like this, but in a moment, just like Faith, it can be gone. You know, never, ever, 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 ever did I ever dream that she would not be here. Never. I was never concerned about Faith. I was never worried about her. I never ever feared anything would severely happen to her, because I felt like she was so protected and so looked after and so cared for, that even if something did happen, that she would always be safe and no harm would ever come to her. It's just, I don't even know how to describe this, but I think so deeply about things, and I guess I always have, but even more so now, because Faith, it wasn't to me that harm came to her that night, and it wasn't even that I think she wasn't safe. I mean, if anybody was to choose a way to go, it would either be in your sleep, I guess, or high, or just in a moment taken. So if I was to think about Faith and that night and how she went, she would have been in a state of high. So she would have gone from high to higher. One minute she would have been in a high state, and then in the blink of an eye she would have just been in the higher realms, in the heavenly realms. Yeah, it's still unbelievable to me, and I don't know if I'll ever believe what's happened. But all I know is I've loved heaven before and looked forward to heaven, but man, do I look forward to heaven even more now. I view death in a different way now. I mean, especially ones that are so close to me that have passed, and even ones that I don't know to me that have passed. I mean, I'm on so many grief pages and have connected with people that way, and some people on the grief pages, they just catch my eye, usually around her age, but it's almost like when they catch my eye and I see them and I read about them, and it's like Faith has said to me, Mom, I know them, I met them, I know them. It's like she's, they're together. And that blows my mind too, because I think about that, and when people pass over, like heaven must be like a continuous celebration of people who have gone from this life to that life. They would be arriving, and I just think of, you know, the teenagers that have turned up there. It would just be like a continuous celebration, like a continuous party, like a continuous social event, a continuous prom, a continuous ball, continuous, because it would be happening all the time. So yeah, life there would be so different to life here, obviously. And I know that time is not the same as well. As I mentioned before, it's been 3 years for me in February since Faith went to heaven. But for her, it'll be like 3 minutes. That's what the different time factor would be like. 30 years here would be like 30 minutes to her there. So you can understand why there's no missing. There's no missing. You would not miss in 3 minutes. That's like a blink of an eye, really. Even 30 minutes. Yeah, it's crazy, eh? It's crazy. But yeah. What's my purpose in life now? I still think that my purpose is keeping Faith alive. What does that look like for me now? It's a full-time job. It really is. It's a full-time job. I've discovered things about myself that I really didn't know that I had to that degree. So I have a ability, you could call it, and I haven't actually put it out there yet, but if anyone's interested, it's called personality type. And so what it is, I'll ask 4 questions. What your favorite genre of music is, now that can be 1, 2, 3, can be many. What your favorite genre of movie, if you could be a superhero, what would your superhero be? Example, Superman, Wonder Woman. It's not limited to that, but that was just an example. And there's one more thing. There's 4 questions anyway that I ask. So you give me your 4 questions and I will give you your personality type based on those 4 things. How did I get this? I don't know how I got this, but I used to work out people's personalities based on music alone, just that one thing. But I remember when Faith was here, she would have been, how old would she have been? 13, I think. I think she was about 13. and we were going with the youth to Napier, and so we were in a van with all the kids, and just it kind of popped into my head. I thought, oh, I'll do this thing with the kids where they got to give me, you know, those things. And I wrote, there was about nine kids, I think. No, it can't have been that many. Might have been seven kids in the van. And so I wrote everyone's personalities back to them. And so I guess from that point there to now, I've basically probably just grown in it more. Yeah, so that's my thing that I do now. So yeah, I just thought I'll just jump on here and just have a little update. I thought that what I will do is jump on here more often, make it more frequent. I usually have big bouts of time before coming back on again. Yeah, but I'll try and make it more of a frequent thing. Try and make it a weekly thing, maybe even twice a week if I can. So yeah, that's me for now. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for walking with faith. Thank you for honouring her. Thank you for loving her. I'll see you guys real soon.